All right, and welcome back to another episode of DeathStryke Media's Force Friday show. It's Friday. We're talking Star Wars, and guess what, guys? We have a full panel today. We've got my 3-year-old. We've got James on this side. We got Sean smack in the middle. We're gonna start with the intros. How you doing, James?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. That's a quick intro.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm feeling good right now.
Awesome. That's awkward pause. How about you, Sean?
The standard better than I deserve.
Hey,
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while since all three of us have actually been together.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's all about, scheduling and, some of us go on the Kessel Run, some of us go beyond the Outer Rim. It's just hard to keep up, and some of us are trying to join the Empire. It's just one of them things. I don't know. That's the losing side, but they turn into the First Order, and that looks pretty badass.
You're going by that chick stick a guy in uniform.
That's the whole reason for it, right? Yeah. That's what I thought. Well, welcome back, guys. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're just tuning in for the first time, excellent how this show works. We've got a couple of Star Wars stories. We've got, I think, 5 today, so we're just going to run them down, simply talk about them, and have some fun along the way, and perhaps talk about some history-related goodness that all weaves into the Star Wars universe. And up first, we're going to jump into the biggest story of the week. We have the title for the Han Solo film. It is called Solo, a Star Wars story. James, what do you think about this title reveal?
Well, I am appreciative of Ron Howard's social media presence. And I did watch that video in anticipation. And when the title actually was revealed by him flipping the card, my reaction was meh.
I kind of had the same feeling, and still I started thinking about it, going, how are they going to market it and stuff like that. Before I give my opinion, Sean, what about you?
Well, the first thing I did is when I heard it, is like, haven't we seen this title before?
Yeah, right.
Number one, number two, it's like, this is so middle of the road, but I have an idea of why they did it.
Oh yeah, me too.
So what about you?
I didn't like it at first. I thought it was very boring and very plain, and then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, who's gonna go see a movie called Corellia, a Star Wars story, without knowing what Corellia is in the Star Wars universe, or Falcon, a Star Wars story? Like, everyone's gonna be like, Falcon, like what? No one's gonna know what that is. But if it says Solo, you think Han Solo. Of course, you see Star Wars right below it. Like, oh, this movie must be about Han Solo going forward. So to me, that was a smart marketing move. It was a safe marketing move, in my opinion. But I think it'll convey the message enough where the average fan who only have seen the movies and maybe have seen the original trilogy, maybe only seen the first Star Wars, you know what? I like that Han Solo guy. Maybe I'll go see a movie about him. Further thoughts?
Well, mine was the whole little border around it, a Star Wars story.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So basically, I think, like with Rogue One,
Yeah.
they're creating a template to drop in, installments.
I think so too.
And one will streamline the media aspect of it. It'll also streamline the whole look of it.
Yeah.
One of the good things that anything that Star Wars has done is the ability to market itself well.
I think so too.
This is a great little template. I know that seems kind of cookie cutter, and I basically intentionally so.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. They're going to use that same sort of logo going forward of the title, then the frame around it, then Star Wars. They obviously did that with Rogue One. They did this now with Han Solo. They'll probably do Kenobi, a Star Wars story.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we're going to see this going forward, and I'm kind of okay with that. It kind of separates itself from the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy and the prequel trilogy, going, well, this is probably about this one guy and his story. Now let's figure out where it's going to go, or what part of the timeline it's going to be in. Now with Han Solo, we know it's a young Han Solo film, but going forward, we have like a Kenobi. Well, do we get Kenobi before he is a Padawan? Do we get Kenobi after he's on Tatooine? You get some interesting stories. I think they're going to go with the time he's on Tatooine and being a hermit. But I dig the title. I think it's a very smart marketing move. So
Yeah, it kind of grew on me after sleeping on the title and just thinking it over. In fact, I could remember a line from one of the Star Wars kids books or novels I read, which might have been a couple of decades ago, where Luke was thinking about Han Solo's name, and it was him thinking to himself, I wonder if he named himself Solo just because he's such a loner and such a renegade. And so if you have the last name by itself, that's representative of the guy's character. So when the title has a bit of a double meaning, to me that helps the story better, or just has a better feeling to it. But I was kind of hoping they would keep it simple and just call it Han Solo.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that's too on the nose. I think if you got Han Solo, a Star Wars story, that sort of takes away like, well, is it only about him? Are we not going to get Chewie? Are we not going to get Lando? We're not going to get the Falcon. We just call it Solo. Solo could be two people. It's a last name, so it could be a many people. So we don't know. We're assuming it's one person, and all of the canon so far is alluded to. He's the only child. So we'll see. Maybe they spin it differently now that we have new canon.
Well, you know, it's also the fact that by putting the little tagline around it, a Star Wars story, as you said, it helps it stand out to go, I don't need to see this to enjoy all the other films.
Right. It's not called Star Wars episode whatever.
Right.
It's just called whatever, Solo or Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
So, of course, there are rabid fans that are going to see them all, which I know I'll definitely be seeing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But just the idea that you could, you know, I'm going to watch the main storyline, and then I can watch these other fillers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a filler.
Yeah, I'm not saying Han Solo's
I'm saying is a writing standpoint, that's how they see it. You know, you got these extra blocks. Such as after the original trilogy, you know, all these little projects came out, or, you know, around, you know, I'm going to say a dangerous word here, Christmas time and other things to keep people's interest up while we were waiting for the final movie.
Yeah, no, that's
all
true.
these little side projects, so like cameo appearances in character and stuff like that. And this takes the same role. That's how I see it.
No, that's fair enough. I know. Speaking of cameo roles, a nice segue. I'm gonna go ahead and change stories here. Have you guys heard of Tag and Bink?
Honestly, up until we were going over show notes, I'm being blunt and honest. No, I had to research. And
How about you?
I thought I was up on things.
Yeah, same here. I thought it rang a bell, but then I thought, oh no, I'm thinking of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, voiced by a Star Wars royalty person. Whoa, buddy! I see that. That's cool, bud. That's cool. James Arnold Taylor actually voices both Ratchet and Clank, and James Arnold Taylor voices Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars.
Okay, there you go.
Boom! It all connects.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Small galaxy.
It is. That is a hard Tafiti. Good job, buddy. He loves Moana. What can you say? But yeah, no. Tag and Bink. Tag and Bink are two smaller characters in the old canon. They had a little one shot, not really a one shot. They had a little mini comic series called Tag and Bink Are Dead, which is very interesting for a Star Wars comic to be called They're Dead. So the premise of this comic is
are they based?
Is that Maui?
Are they based off Rosencrantz and Guildenstern?
I don't know.
I have that feel.
They do have that feel, but I don't know if that's where they based them off of. However, in a tweet again from Ron Howard, he did tweet out, tweeting. Said Tag and Bink ? And with these two guys in Imperial officer uniforms. Now, the story of Tag and Bink are they were rebel soldiers who were on the Tantive 4 when it got attacked by Darth Vader and his Star Destroyer in the beginning of A New Hope. Now, instead of dying, they went ahead and took the armor from Storm. Is that what it is? At Taka? Cool. They stole the armor from two downed stormtroopers, masqueraded as them so they could get back to somewhere safe without dying. But can you imagine being a stormtrooper who now has to go back to the Death Star, who has to report to these areas of the starship to complete your duties on a daily basis, and then realize we're kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere on this giant floating city? Hilarity ensues. Is that a boat? Cool, bud. I see that. But your thoughts on having this sort of element in a Han Solo film?
That's kind of weird because I wonder. First of all, is like the timeline.
Yeah.
We're doing a young Han Solo, and they were on, you know, like.
I'm guessing retconning here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But just to be fair, there's a long history of that. The fact that C-3PO and R2-D2 were comedic relief on a lot of aspects, and Lucas always said that he borrowed that inspiration from the Hidden Fortress, the two bickering side villagers from the Kurosawa film. Then you have this whole Laurel and Hardy aspect. They seem to have a more of that into it. But then again, when you're dealing with big subjects, it's kind of nice just to let the air out, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, BB-8 is a hero for a reason why people love him, you know. It's the little comedy sometimes that's not really planned to be as funny as it is.
Right.
Comes out.
No, and I totally understand that. Now, concerning the fact that Lord and Miller were pulled off the project for it being too slapsticky, from what we understand, or too much of a comedic element, having Tag and Bink, who are known to be the slapstick sort of style comic hero, not really hero, but duo, being in the Han Solo film. What do you think, James, of having this extra comedic element to Han Solo?
Well, when you described the characters to me, they kind of reminded me of those two guys from the Pirate of the Caribbean movies where they are British officers, and then at the end of the third one, like they pose as pirates and just kind of
to save their butts,
and they're like just doing all the pirate lingo, and a couple of the pirates kind of look at him like, "Who are you guys?"
It's like, I don't recognize.
Where do you guys come from?
Yeah. Oh, well, you're pirates, whatever.
Yeah.
No, and I totally get that. And maybe that's where they're kind of going from. And a nice Star Wars trope that we've seen throughout all of these films is there's always two guys bickering about some sort of speeder. It was the T-16 speeder, and there was a T-14, T-15, and T-16 speeders that were throughout the film trilogy. There's always two guys bickering. I wonder if these are the two guys bickering about speeders in this film. So we'll see.
Really great continuity, be a nudge to the fans. Especially I don't necessarily like the term sweaty fanboys, but the ones that are obsessively studying.
Well, I mean, I'm not too much of a sweaty fanboy, and I knew about that trope, right? It's a common theme, and the line is, I got a bad feeling about it.
Which is classic, it's not a Star Wars film
without that line or the Wilhelm scream. You got to have that in there somewhere too. So you have those three elements, and you got yourself a Star Wars film. So let's go make a Star Wars film with all those things.
Someone has to lose a hand or an arm or
a limb
of some sort.
Yep.
So the money's out, by the way, on the limb lossing. I was actually looking on a couple.
Kenobi.
Yeah, well, they're talking about leg.
Oh.
They want a leg.
They want a leg.
Yeah, they got the hand. They got like young Anakin lost an arm.
Yeah.
He lost a whole arm.
Oh, he lost two legs.
So they're like,
well, he lost an arm and then he lost the legs. So,
he lost the arm. Both of his arms.
both his arms eventually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So,
he was just a stub rolling around.
We're talking about in the possible upcoming release. It's like somebody's got to lose a leg. We got to balance things out.
Like when you think about it, Anakin Skywalker was the dude from Monty Python.
He was the Black Knight.
Yeah,
he
was the Black Knight. Yeah.
It's only a flesh wound.
Only a flesh wound.
All you need is a Bacta tank to heal yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And some cybernetics.
Yeah.
But no, I think having Tag and Bink as something as a sort of nod to fans. Maybe they probably won't be main characters in this film. They'll probably be like background characters, or their name will be said like.
Well.
Or they'll be talking, "Hey Tag, hey Bink" in the background. I know they're played by Kasdan and I wrote it down here somewhere. Maybe I didn't write it down, but anyway, they're played by one of the directors of the film and one of the writers.
Okay.
So they're being cameoed in the film.
Okay.
As Tag and Bink.
Yeah,
so they definitely won't be main characters, but they will be. They'll be again a nod to all the sweaty fanboys out there.
Or it does occur to me, like with the absence of C-3PO and R2-D2, maybe these two are supposed to be the comic relief, and so they'll have kind of that kind of dynamic of one's kind of the quiet, but adorable little robot. Only it's a dude, and then the other one will be.
I have an evil cat that
Sean's being attacked by a cat off camera here. Yeah, right. Yeah. So like one will be the R2 kind of mellow piece of comedic relief, and the other guy will be the more annoying, pain in the butt dude who you just want to beat up.
Yeah, and I totally get that. Now, when you said with R2-D2 and C-3PO probably not in this film, I kind of agree.
Right.
Although they might show up somewhere because
I don't think C-3PO will, but I do believe if anything can be in it, it would be R2-D2.
Because that's one of the other unwritten rules of the Star Wars movies. So you have to have a cameo by those two at least.
Right.
Yeah.
And we know for a fact that Anakin built C-3PO. It's canon. You may not like it, but it's canon.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
But
However,
it happened.
But it happened. He's a protocol droid. They're probably like an erector set you could buy, right? I mean,
that's a good way of thinking about it.
Yeah, so it's not like it's a big thing. It just happened to be the C-3PO we all know and love by Anthony Daniels.
Kids, they used to be toys that you had to assemble. They were called erector sets. They came with a wrench and bolts and screws and everything, and they were fun.
Yeah, until someone ruined it by swallowing all the pieces.
And that's why they no longer allow them in life.
Well, that's not true. They still make them. They're just hard to find.
It's like how the Transformers toys kind of transform themselves. It takes all the fun out of it.
I totally agree with you.
I know.
Yeah. But there is a way to have at least R2-D2 in the film if they go to a facility that builds astromechs and you see R2 being made. That's possible because he could have been made and then it would fit the time.
Yeah.
No, because R2-D2 was in service at the time on Naboo for Amidala.
Yeah.
So this would be really weird.
Yeah, it'd be really weird if they had him in there. But unless they had other astromechs. But
Yeah,
but they
my
probably
theory
will.
would be that maybe because we don't know if this will be at the time of the rebellion, so I figured he'd be on an X-wing or something.
This is young Han Solo. This is before the rebellion.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, okay,
pre-rebellion.
yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe, I don't know, maybe he makes some money by smuggling astromech droids he stole. They fell off
Yeah.
the back of a transport.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, maybe he's smuggling astromechs to Naboo.
Yeah.
There we go. And parts for protocol droids to Tatooine.
I don't know.
I mean, he's on Tatooine when we first see him, so who knows?
You had to get there somehow.
Yeah, and he obviously has connections because that's one of his the dive bar on Tatooine is the cantina is one of his local spots on Tatooine. So he's been there before. Food for thought.
Sometimes you have to go where everyone knows your name.
Unfortunately, everyone knows the name there, and they don't like him. So
Yeah.
There's money on his head.
yes, and it's not by a nice.
Well, he
fellow.
does tip the bartender well after he shoots somebody.
Yeah, with a coin that says "Sorry about the mess."
Yeah.
Just for those who didn't know it, the coin that he flips says "Sorry about the mess." And
I
just-
actually did not know that.
yeah, that's one. I have a coin back there that says "Sorry about the mess."
Okay.
I think it's on one of the.
Yeah, it also was in...
It's the small silver one. Yeah, it's that one that says Greedo shot first. On the other side, it says "Sorry about the mess." Han
Actually-
shot first.
Nice.
I think it was also inscribed in the canon Star Wars comic book that came out after Star Wars.
Yeah,
They did almost like a scene, scene by scene of the movie in comic book form.
sure.
You could actually see that on the coin he's flipping.
Yep. Sorry about the mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
It's like the bar hands out tokens. Like, okay, you get 5. Sorry about the messes. This pretty much gives you the right to shoot a
much
guy in a
do
fair
what-
fight.
Yeah, that's very true. But we'll
It's half
see.
cost,
It's like
the hour.
it's like a security deposit.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Back to the limb. There was a limb lost in the bar.
I'll just go on his tab for later for cleanup fees. Yeah, it's
There
all
you go.
good.
It's on the house.
So that's a bit of comedy relief. I'd like to see in a Han Solo movie where they just give him the ground rules about how you can and cannot shoot someone in the bar.
That brings up. I know we're off topic on Tag and Bing. However, that does bring up an interesting thought. Are they going to revisit the cantina on Tatooine? I wouldn't mind that because he is known on Tatooine. So who knows? Maybe I don't know how far this young Han Solo will go up to. I don't know if we're going to go up till we meet him.
Right.
Because he's looking a little too much. I don't know if they can get him to look like Harrison Ford enough. I wonder if they're going to keep him in his adolescent sort of 20s time frame. Because he's a little older than 20. But he's about 25, 30 when we see him in New Hope.
I thought he was closer to 30. Definitely 30-ish.
Yeah, that's fine. It's hard to tell. These I don't know. Humans on the far away have weird timelines.
That's obviously we spent the past 5 minutes going, how does any of this work?
We're not trying to find plot holes or plot points. We're just talking about it. And we're like, how does this connect? Sweaty fanboys. Ooh,
Find
yeah.
that room where everything is on this giant wall, with can you imagine
With
post-it notes?
the string chart, you're like that's connected, and that's connected, and that's connected. I got a packet full of pens over there. We could totally do that.
Can we talk about Solo? I really want to talk about Solo. Can we talk about Solo? I'm dying to talk about Solo.
No, we're gonna switch gears and talk about Laura Dern.
Okay, I love her.
So Laura Dern, if you haven't heard, she will be in the upcoming episode 8, The Last Jedi.
No, I just love your subject line on this one. Laura Dern. We got a Laura Dern here.
Yeah. Well, you gotta have your references to Jurassic Park in there because you have to. But yes, that was my tagline for the show notes. But Laura Dern plays a character who I'm familiar with from reading the Leia novel, but probably no one who read it has any clue who she is.
Get this name right. Yeah.
She plays we now know she's an admiral. We didn't know her rank before or what position she was going to be because in the book she's young, she's a teenager like Leia, but now she's an admiral. Admiral Emmeline Haldo. Emmeline Haldo. That's a Star Wars name if I've ever heard one. Well, you said that, so I stole it from you. Ha. Anyway, so yeah,
You scoundrel.
I know. She was actually on the Ellen show, sort of talking tidbits about The Last Jedi. I think they're starting to do the early press tour for The Last Jedi, getting stars out there, doing talk shows. I'm sure Mark Hamill's about to have a couple. I'm sure Adam Driver's going to be on. So I'm sure Daisy Ridley, because she's pretty, she'll be on.
I think
so.
Daisy Ridley just had a...
She had a Vanity Fair thing.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Yeah.
Well,
Vogue.
Yeah, I was going to say
Vogue.
Vogue. Yeah, it was
I
like
watched those 72 questions.
73 questions.
Yeah. That was actually very funny. I liked that.
Rapping was actually very...
Yeah, that was good. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. Obviously, very well rehearsed, but that's just a testament to her acting.
Yeah, that's so true. I love the little bit about getting information about The Last Jedi. She's like, you got to sign
Gotta
this
sign this
contract.
Then they beep out half her dialogue, and yeah,
I think it was all of her dialogue. And then this beep, 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 and then you won't believe beep, beep, beep. Oh, it was so, go check it out. I'll if I remember, I'll put a link in the description. But you know, Laura Dern was on Ellen talking about her role in The Last Jedi, and she said she could not talk about it at all. And then they had a new picture. Ellen put a new picture of her character up, and she's like, "Oh, there's a picture. At least we can talk about that." So you see Laura Dern. She has purple hair. Now, we've never seen really dyed hair in the Star Wars universe, and her hair is purple. But in the books, she's got multicolored hair all the time. Her hair and her style is always changing different. She's very 1960s-ish. Very.
See, I was gonna go very Ramona Flowers.
Kind of, yeah. That's definitely a way of looking at it, but I was more of like a flower child, like no care in the world, just wants to be different, free flowing, stuff like that. But
right on.
Yeah, no, in the book she was. I didn't like her when I first was reading about her in the book, and then all of a sudden, like, she started stepping up and doing these bigger and better things, and making more. Oh, thank you for the hug, bud.
Yeah.
Doing these things that.
Speaking of flower power and love, like
I got a hug from my 3-year-old. That doesn't happen too often. So. Yeah, she goes out. Her character, Amilyn, goes out and does some really key things to help Leia get the rebellion going secretly in the Senate, finding people who could help. So she does a lot of espionage type stuff in her usual bubbly, happy self. So it'll be very interesting. I don't think we've ever seen a female character quite like this in the Star Wars world.
Yeah, I can't remember if you talked about this on camera or off camera, but you compared her to Luna from the Harry Potter stories. Yeah.
So in the Leia novel, she is very much like Luna Lovegood, in that she is she's always in her own world. She's always thinking and saying things that you're like, you gotta, like, it's almost like a riddle you have to put together. Like, oh, you're saying this, but what's funny how you're saying it. That's she talks in riddles. At least when she was a kid, I don't think she was gonna do that as an adult. That's not how you build, professional relationships in a Senate, right? That doesn't make any sense.
No, but then again, it also shows that I don't know. Me being the old cynic, thinking, is this just a cover? Is that how she uses it to move? Swim in and out of circles.
Yeah.
Because who's going to suspect someone who's an airhead?
Yeah, no, and that's true too. I didn't think about that aspect. She's playing the coy angle, if you will.
Very
like,
cunning.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, she was on Ellen talking about things. Apparently, she did let something slip.
Uh-oh.
I think it was a small thing. It was probably an intentional slip, but maybe not. We did learn that she actually is going to be armed in the film and firing weapons.
Okay.
Which is something that we haven't seen a politician take up arms really since
Padme.
And then before that, of course, with the original trilogy, we had Leia. So we're having these senatorial type figures being on the forefront of like action.
And the women are always better shots than the men.
Yeah. I mean, unless they had a lightsaber, right? I mean, that's
true.
Yeah, and blasters are clumsy and
inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's also
uncivilized.
Uncivilized, I was going to say.
Yeah. What if this is just a continuing? Once again, Star Wars. We've already touched upon certain tropes.
Random, clumsy and random.
Okay.
That was
Not
really
as clumsy and random as a blaster.
Yes.
Boom.
I had to complete that quote.
Yeah, no, it was a team effort. Sorry for the interruption.
Eventually got there. Between the three of us, we have one brain. So, but the issue is this seems to be a continuing trope. You had Princess Leia, you had Padme, and
now you have
Amilyn Holdo.
Amilyn Holdo. Amilyn Holdo.
Her name. Her name is Amilyn Holdo.
But no, it's continuing on. It's also the issue of anymore the Senate's looking more and more like the Roman Senate. You got you got guns everywhere. You got poisonings. You got knivings.
It's like the Roman Senate. Yeah, exactly.
It's like the Roman Senate. So of course she's going to pack heat.
Yeah, you got to. And at this point in time, the New Republic, I guess you could call it the New Republic, has just been decimated by the First Order. So there's a lot of back and forth, probably a big power struggle somewhere.
Got to be a vacuum.
Yeah, there's got to be. So if you're known, or if you have a high rank such as an admiral, or in Leia's case, a general, of course you have some sort of, combat or firearms experience, and you will protect yourself.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, look at Leia. She picked up a stormtrooper, blasted hole in the trash compactor lid, and Ted was the first one to dive head first into it, leading the way. Speaking of Carrie Fisher, though, Laura Dern did go on to say how lovely it was to work with Carrie Fisher, and how much of an amazing performance she gave. She was just in awe about her performance. And how she helped pave the way for the women in Star Wars 40 years ago, and that still holds true today. We do get a lot of, we've gotten strong female characters from the very beginning with Carrie Fisher all the way through. As much as you may not like Natalie Portman's portrayal as Queen Amidala, I thought she did an excellent job, given the fact that she had to be opposite Hayden Christensen.
Well, they're all good actors, but
they are.
An actor's only as good as the script they're given.
Right,
so,
and that's true. But I personally, maybe it was I had maybe a crush on Natalie Portman, but I always thought she.
Oh yeah, we all did.
And of course, we all did.
Man.
I always thought she gave an outstanding performance in all three. She might have mailed in some scenes, but not all of them. She was a very strong person. She carried her weight through the whole film, starting out as queen of a whole planet, going on to being a senator. Fighting in the Battle of Geonosis, and then going on later to meet Anakin at a lava planet. Who does that, right? I mean, you got to be strong-headed.
Love makes you do strange things.
All right.
That's all I can say.
And then her daughter, of course, we got Leia, who became was a princess of a whole nother planet. Watched her planet get destroyed, didn't break down and cry. Hooked up with a scoundrel and a farm boy, helped destroy a Death Star. And now we
brother
didn't know it at the time. And then now we have Laura Dern's character. Of course, now we have Rey as well.
And Rose.
Well, we don't know much about Rose yet. We know that she's a mechanic. She's probably more than a mechanic, but so I think what Carrie Fisher did 40 years ago has made it possible for this franchise to open up and expand the fact that, yes, there are females who can lead movies in this franchise, and we should let them do it. So,
go ahead. I was going to do a brief segue, so why don't you stay on point here?
I was going to say, with her character being really coming out in the period that you had the civil rights movement, then you had the women's movement. She was definitely, it was, I would say, probably a risky choice at first.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it happened, because you also can look. If you look at sci-fi as a whole, from her entry into the sci-fi genre, you have Sigourney Weaver after.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have had Sigourney Weaver.
That's true.
And you couldn't have had, Sarah Connor from T2.
Yep.
That all came from, taking the shot that Carrie Fisher is going to have this very powerful role and will be seen. Sometimes I poo-poo the importance of people going, no, you have to show that this is an opportunity for other people to represent other people, other types. In movies, up until you can step back at the 30,000-foot view and go, I can see it now.
Yeah.
And, so that's really important, the time that it came out in.
Yeah, and probably at the time they weren't even thinking 40 years later or the movement that it could bring. Or
hoping the check cleared.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're 40 years later, and we're still talking about it, going back, reflecting on, oh my God, they took a huge risk. And I think in 10 years going, well, no, of course they took a huge risk. Maybe we won't consider it a risk in 10 years, 20 years from now. I'm like, that's how it should have been. So who knows? Or
like people thinking Wonder Woman was somehow a risky box office proposition. Then it made a good chunk of change.
Yeah, it made Patty Jenkins like a household name. It made Gal Gadot a household name. It made Wonder Woman a household name.
Just hosted Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
I wanted to see it, and I didn't get a chance to see it. I'm sure it was great. But yeah, Carrie Fisher did more things than she could probably ever imagine. As soon as at the time, more than she could have imagined. So, yeah, for Laura Dern to go on and say she paved the way, that's accurate for this franchise, as well as pretty much any female, at least led or co-led franchise going forward. So
I definitely would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like a no-brainer, because you could look at the films before.
Yeah.
And then after Star Wars, you could see the roles of women, especially in the sci-fi world, where they were given much bigger roles to be explored.
No, that's very true.
It's like I've been on a 50s movie sci-fi kick lately, and I feel like 90% of all sci-fi movies in the 50s have a monster holding a damsel in distress.
Yeah, there's always a male after him, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the one brief segue I was going to do, just out of curiosity, because we were talking so much about Padme, did you see the piece of the piece of concept art from episode 3, where apparently an early draft of the script had Padme confronting Anakin, and she had
A dagger.
A dagger.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
The original writing on the script
Yeah.
was that her intention, because she learned what he did in the temple, was she was going to kill him
Yeah.
on Mustafar.
She was like going to help found the rebellion, which was a scene they cut out,
Yeah.
but that would have made that scene way more intense.
Oh yeah, they for the sake of story, I don't like that they cut it out, but at the same time, I think that would have been a little much. Well, at the time it wasn't Disney, so they should have left it. But if it was Disney, they would have pulled it. But because it wasn't Disney, I'm like, why didn't they leave it?
Because my argument, since you are talking about the importance of story, is that if she basically tries to off Anakin,
Yeah,
then she's no longer our princess.
that's true. Well, no, this is Padme.
No, I am talking Padme.
Oh, okay.
The princess archetype.
Oh, okay.
She's
yeah,
the
yeah.
one that is the love interest. She's the one that like can draw him back by the power of love. That is a very common trope you will find in the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was already kind of tough. I mean, she was tough in episode 2. She planned the final attack in episode 1. So I think that would have been more befitting the Padme character, because a lot of us actually, like you say, that she should have been the princess archetype. I think she was that a little too much in episode 3, where she was all sweet and talking about raising the baby and not really doing anything really Padme and.
But just playing devil's
tough
advocate
life.
against my own argument here, seeing her in the animated series, her knifing him or her showing up with a gun and shooting him would have been very much in character.
Yeah.
But for people who haven't seen that aspect of her, you're also asking the audience to take, okay, he's just murdered all these children. His pregnant wife comes up to kill him, and what's he initially going to do? He's going to kill her.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how much darkness can you inflict in one movie?
Well, that's very true too. But you got to look at Empire. Had a darker tone.
Sure.
But it wouldn't have followed that middle movie of being the darkest, because the third one in that particular series, the prequel series, the third one, Revenge of the Sith, was the darker of the three.
Right.
First, and I think only Star Wars movie would be PG-13.
Maybe.
I know that
I think it was a PG-13.
It was PG-13, and I think that was the first of the originals. Although I can't remember what Force
Probably
Awakens.
for the murdering of children.
and the whole burning of his body. Yeah.
I can get over that.
Yeah, the thing is, we'll show Private Ryan, but
that was. I think that was R.
Yeah.
That was most definitely an R-rated movie.
Yeah, no,
but anyway,
definitely so.
But
Yeah.
that was a nice little segue. It's just as soon as you mentioned Padme, I thought that would have been so hardcore.
Yeah,
It
no,
would've
that's
been
true.
hardcore,
That would've been great.
On the grounds of almost like a Tarantino hardcore film.
Oh no, it still would have been a PG-13.
Well, no,
thing.
because they would have to play the beginning, like have like the heavy foreshadowing in the beginning to make it a Tarantino film.
Fair enough.
She would have to be like killing a small animal with a knife, and then that'd be the foreshadowing of her killing Anakin later, like of her pet or something. I don't know.
Pet Anakin gave her.
Yeah, some sort of foreshadowing there.
No, like she can be on the ship beforehand, and she's just looking at a stack of weapons, kind of like Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction. Like she just grabs like a mallet of some kind. Nah, just kind of looking around. Blaster. Nah, not too easy. Then just looks up and sees a knife.
Yeah. Someone should recut that in the Quentin Tarantino style filmmaking and make it that way. I have some skills in Premiere. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We're gonna
Get back on track.
Yeah, we'll get back on track. We're gonna jump. Anybody else have anything on Laura Dern or?
She looks awesome. I look forward to seeing more of her. And my own theory as to why she has a blaster is I think that the space battle we're going to get is going to be pretty lengthy in The Last Jedi. And if I had to guess, I think her ship is probably going to get boarded.
Yeah.
And she's going to have to just resort to defending herself.
That's fair enough.
Go back to like to A New Hope. That scene.
Yeah.
In the hallway scene.
Yeah,
very intense.
Yeah, maybe Kylo boards the ship when we get something very similar in aspect, which I'm fine with. I love seeing bad guys mow down good guys, even though I want the good guys to win. But you have war is heck. Okay.
Also show that they're bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of bad guy, good guys, we're actually getting a comic news bit. We don't do comic news very often because there's so much out there and so much to keep up with. But I thought this one in particular was a very interesting one because we're getting a comic about DJ. Now, DJ is going to be played in The Last Jedi by Benicio del Toro. We know absolutely nothing of this character. Nothing at all, other than what he looks like. He's got a scar, and it's Benicio del Toro, and you don't cast him without some sort of story to tell, because he's a very good actor. He's a very good character actor. He's a very good sort of everything actor. Loved him in Sin City.
Yeah.
So I'm always picturing that character in Star Wars. Like, that could work because he's sort of demented and dark, and I know the way Rian Johnson directs and storytells, that could work, especially in a seedy part of, say, Coruscant or something. I don't know if they're gonna have Coruscant in this movie. It'd be very interesting if they did. But we're getting this one shot comic of DJ, and it's going to be in the day in the life of DJ, and it's actually going to come out after The Last Jedi, which tells me there's spoilers in this about if they don't tell us who he is, but where he comes from. Sean, thoughts on having a one-shot DJ comic, and is there a significance to having a standalone of just him?
Yeah, it sets it up to how big of a role is he going to play in the future.
Yeah, I agree.
That's going to be the first thing to the top of my head. Number two, it's like, quickly grab that comic and put it away.
Yes.
Number two. The issue when I started researching DJ spun off into conspiracy corner about every possible explanation, including like the hint to the meaning of DJ. That really got into. I was looking at some heated boards.
Oh yeah, some people say it's Ezra. Some people say, very small people say it's Kanan. Some people say it's another Jedi we've seen in the past, because DJ could be initials for two different names. Like Kanan, actually his first name starts with a D and is Kanan Jarrus, so he's got the J for DJ. It could be something related to that. So maybe Ezra took Kanan's name and was, because he was his trainer. Who knows? Thoughts on DJ comic or Benicio del Toro in The Last Jedi?
Well, everyone's wrong. I mean, clearly he is secretly playing his character from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's going to be the Collector, and they're going to drag Star Wars into the Infinity War, and we're going to have a giant Disney property event where everyone fights everybody.
Will that be like an Extinction level event from, was that not Deep Impact? Is that Deep Impact? ELE? No.
ELE? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't.
Extinction level? Yeah, I believe so.
That Deep Impact? Yeah, okay. ELE. So I don't think we're gonna get
nice cut.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Yeah.
I do think we are gonna get some juicy tidbits on who he is. Maybe he is Ezra. And
well,
what are your theories? What other theories have you heard? I haven't heard very many.
I just want to throw out the most popular ones. One, for some reason, one of the biggest and more popular ones is that is Ezra, but also that he's called DJ because that's how he pilots his ship, or somehow he has like turntables was a.
You gotta go left.
I'm serious. That was actually one of the
I'm not gonna be the beatboxer. Nope, not gonna do it.
Main theories. The other one was DJ is an acronym for he's actually a dark force user.
That could be. That could be.
Oh yeah, like Darth,
like Dark Jedi or something
Dark
like that.
Jedi. It's an abbreviation for Dark Jedi.
Or
So, and also Benicio del Toro, I can't, you mentioned him in Sin City. When I hear the name, I think Dr. Gonzo of Law. So I keep expecting him to break into.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, just.
No, I love that.
I'm your lawyer, and as your lawyer, we're going to go.
We're going to go.
It's okay, your lawyer's here.
I mean, he could be a shady lawyer in the underbelly.
As your attorney?
Attorney, that's not lawyer. Attorney, thank you.
As your attorney, I advise you to leave this room right now.
I haven't seen Fear and Loathing in forever. I can't believe that's I totally.
It's like one of that's one of 3 movies I have on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray.
It's a good one to have.
Yeah, I've seen his collection. It's kind of bizarre.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's. I have my own theories on who DJ is. I'm believing that DJ, much like Snoke and Rey, maybe not Rey, but we'll see, are just them. They have no backstory. They're brand new characters that they're introducing into Star Wars.
Well, also, like Del Toro's been around the Disney empire, like I said, as someone who was in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So it could have been he was just calling in a favor and like, man, I really want to have a part in Star Wars. Can y'all hook me up?
Yeah, maybe that's true too.
It wouldn't be the first time. I mean, look at the number of people who had cameos in Force Awakens.
True.
Unknown cameos too, like Simon Pegg. Who knows Simon Pegg was on Car Plot?
Kevin Smith, Daniel Craig. Yeah.
And you will drop your blaster, and I will drop my blaster.
Yeah, it's just the issue that hopefully it's one of the big discussions on the conspiracy boards was it's the Solo effect.
Yeah.
One of the big fears of the Han Solo movie, tying it back up to what we talked about earlier, is that let's not nerf the King of Cool by giving too much information.
Yeah.
He's been the King of Cool because we've had limited information for so long. Just leave it alone. You know, let the fans run crazy. You know, that's the other story. I'm always mixed feelings. I want to know everything, but then again, I also want to, you know, leave mystery. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because then again, you wouldn't have shows like this or Collider or anything else.
Yeah.
The kid's eating the cookie. He's gonna get a sugar high.
What else is new?
Yeah.
Another life in the day of a 3-year-old. So, but yeah, no, I like all of the theories. I like Dark Jedi theory. I like Ezra theory. I like my theory of he's just a brand new person, much like Snoke and Rey and Finn and Poe. It's a brand new character they've introduced.
I wonder if he'll be offering anyone any drugs. Yeah.
Death sticks.
Yeah, death sticks.
Death sticks.
Like, here's your half of the sunshine death stick. Eat it.
If they throw in a line from Fear and Loathing in this film, I'm gonna fall over laughing in the theater on opening night.
I know what I'm watching tonight. Yeah.
Fear and Loathing. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the last story. We've got. You can hear my 3-year-old. We've got one
summoned.
last story. Hold on. What's up, buddy? We've got one last story involving Finn and Rose riding a space horse. That's right. They're riding a space horse. Now, what's a space horse, you ask? Well, they're going to be in The Last Jedi. And apparently, they're going to be ridden by Finn and... not Finn. Finn and Rose. They're going to be ridden by Finn and Rose. And the only reason we know this is because some eagle-eyed fans spotted it on one of the movie theater, what are they called?
Standee.
The standees, little big cardboard things that advertise the movie. And right in the bottom of the corner, near Poe's jacket, you see the feathers or feathers. I don't know how to feathers, however you say it, space horse. You see a couple of space horses, I'm just going to call them space horses, being ridden by Finn and Rose. Now, when I saw that, I immediately thought they were jockeys.
Yeah.
I was like, there's because the space horses are very large, and like we're talking probably like a draft horse size. And from our perspective, it'd be draft horse size. They were larger. So you see Finn and Rose riding it together. You're like, they look like tiny jockeys compared. Now, I'm guessing they're escaping from somewhere on these things. Probably from the Canto Bight Casino.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, you know, because it's a casino. They have they have races.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact I got to see some blown up pictures of it, and to me it looked like if you guys want to have your heart broken by a cute animal, look up fennec foxes.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a fennec fox. So they're like riding these giant foxes, and my first thought is are these the new Tauntauns?
We're getting a lot of new creatures in Last Jedi. We're getting these things. We're getting porgs. We're getting the dire wolf Jedi thing, puppies or whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
No, that's a wolf. Don't demean the thing and call it a puppy.
What if it is a puppy?
What if it is a puppy?
It's too aggressive and cool looking to be a puppy. A puppy's cute and adorable.
I'm guessing Dave Filoni has some sort of influence into that. So, but yeah, no. But yeah, fennec foxes. When he brought that up, I was like, "You're totally right."
It's got the big ears.
It's very much a horse mixed with a fennec fox.
It's bizarre and beautiful all at the same time, and I'm sure the practical effects on it. I know there's going to be some practical effects because they have to have them.
They built porgs, so they have porgs that are not CGI.
Yeah,
so
that's freaky.
So
I don't know why they didn't get puffin penguins or puffins.
Yeah. Okay, so Del Toro's character is going to be managing the casino, and at some point, Finn and Rose have to make a break for it, and all three of them are running out, and then they make it onto the animal, and then Del Toro slips and then looks up and says, "No, we can't stop here. This is Space Horse territory." Space Horse country.
Bad.
We can't stop here. This is Porg country.
Porg country.
Porg country. There, that's our new tagline, everyone. We can't stop here. This is Porg country.
That is a tagline for October where Luke is staying. We can't stop here. It's Porg country.
I do admit that I kept watching that the trailer with the Porg and Chewie screaming.
It's a good scene.
That kept cracking me up.
Yeah.
I was having a bad day. I just kept...
Rah, rah. It's very good stuff. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be an escape scene from a casino. Probably run by maybe Del Toro's character. We don't know. What's up, buddy?
I have a feeling, since he's so mysterious, that I don't know if he's actually running the casino. If anything, as mysterious as they're passing him off as a character to be, he may be someone unlike Rick, who runs Rick's Cabaret in, Casablanca.
Surprise
lightsaber!
Ah!
Awesome. It's just gonna hang out there. Let's keep going.
But he seems more of an operator than someone who would be tied to a casino.
I'm also thinking maybe a Danny Ocean type character.
Yeah.
Like a thief, a good thief who knows the inside and outs of a casino. Maybe.
There's also there was a line I do believe was.
Or maybe more like Brad Pitt's character because he's a little seedier. Brad Pitt seedier? I don't know.
I don't know. Can be anyway.
Matt Damon's character.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Oh gosh. We're all over the board, but it's the fact that I think he had more of the feel of someone who would be passing through the casino.
Yeah, I totally agree.
His base of operations, not
dirty laundry, laundering money, dirty laundry.
Yeah,
yeah. He just drops by the casino to do his laundry.
Yeah.
Surprise
lightsaber!
Yeah, I run an establishment. I don't care. There's some things you can't escape, like what I have to do these forms again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't really strike me as the type.
Luke, surprise lightsaber! I think we're gonna have to call it quits because he's gonna keep interrupting the show. But yeah, I think
how many lightsabers?
he's got
do
like
you
5.
have? Yeah, 5.
He's got like 5 lightsabers.
My God, is he like
surprise lightsaber?
Is he like General Grievous in training here and collecting all
yeah.
the, oh yeah.
Yeah, and Sith apparently.
Yeah.
But we're gonna wrap it up because we got a angry Jedi Sith person wanting to wrap us up. So, with that being said, you guys have anything else?
Nah.
Awesome. I don't got anything else. Surprise lightsaber. Thank you guys so much for watching this very entertaining and very awkward show that we call the Force Friday Show.
Before we go, I have some. Actually, I do have one more thing.
Surprise lightsaber!
Proposing road trip.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're thinking about going to the Star Wars themed cafe here in Texas. Surprise lightsaber! We're probably going to try to make that happen. I don't know when. We don't have a date set yet, but we'll keep you updated as we go. Yes, all Star Wars themed restaurant. We got to go to that.
We have to go. So, yeah, definitely.
Surprise lightsaber! But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. Click here to subscribe. Click here for 2 weeks ago show. Click here for last week's show. And remember, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.